The question is, how do you even come up with this kind of stuff?
I think you just look for what is available and what could potentially be available. So, I don't know, for this thing, like when we were halfway through the Super project, I wanted to already wish that I could have built a tube chassis car. I knew what I was gonna do for my next build, what it was gonna be tube chassis, and go through that process and learn that process, and also do custom wide body, which Advanced Fiberglass Solutions did a great job at, and John Sabal did a phenomenal job at designing the kit for this car. So those are just like the three major things that I wanted to be able to learn processes about for this build, and everything else is really, I knew I wanted it to be 4-cylinder, and then rinse and repeat for like, it was gonna have a Hollinger RD6 the whole time, the sequential transmission, quick change rear end. The other big caveat was really wanting to have double A-arm suspension front and rear. So that's why we used the Power by Max stuff, because Forsberg used it on the Altamaniac, and I know that he liked it a lot, and it looked like it worked out really well, so.
And was that stuff based off like Corvette, or what?
It is, yeah, their double A-arm stuff is all based off Corvette, so that's, when the chassis got designed in CAD by Kibitech, they got, I think, the drawings for the kit from Power by Max, so it was really easy to implement it all in there. And we're using a Corvette, the C7 electric rack too, I think, to kind of complete the whole circle of all the parts.
So then, you saying this means that you potentially could have built any old Toyota into this sort of project?
Yeah.
Did you even know what a Stout was?
I didn't, not until Dom and I were not finishing, but we're in the middle, about 75% of the way through the Super project, and I got a call from TRD and they wanted me to do another project with Mobil 1. So we just kind of put everything on hold for, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours, and we start researching different cars and came up with a list. And then Dom actually found the Toyota Stout, and I was like, holy, like, I've never seen one before, ever, not on the road, or knew that Toyota even made it. And my list was okay. It was like stuff that I would still love to build in the future, but it wasn't anything super unique. Not something that nobody's done yet, so to speak. And not that these haven't been built before, but not to this level.
No way, not to this level. And the first time I've ever heard of this vehicle was from this build.
Yeah.
And what a catalog to choose from, right? Obviously, you had to build a Toyota,
yes,
but it could be a car, truck, minivan. It could be anything that they've made.
Yeah.
It may not be something that was available in the US too. You could potentially build something that's for the worldwide market or for Japan, right? But it just has to be a Toyota.
Correct.
And then it just worked out because the look, it's so far from the original Stout. Like, it's crazy.
It is, but also has like the truck has such a cool body styling already, and then, you know, giving John Sabal like the freedom to do what he wanted to do with a couple. There was like a few things that I was like, I knew I wanted, which was like the fender vents front and rear, and it to more look like an extended silhouette of the truck already. And he knocked it out of the park. I literally didn't have him change one thing when he sent the rendering to me.
So then, did you already have a dimension set in mind when you were putting this together?
We did initially, and then John and a friend of his kind of talked to my crew chief, Brian Hartsock, and I, and we're like, hey, listen, like, we should do maybe this small change up on wheelbase, on the width, on the wheel track. So we did that. We took their advice on what they thought was best, and that's it. This is it.
So
that was too wide to fit in a trailer.
Oh, okay, got it. So your original thought was something that was so wide that you couldn't even transport it.
No, it still is. It still is. Yeah. And so we have to take the front fenders off and put higher offset wheels on the front just to fit it in the trailer.
Oh,
because most trailers are like 80 inches between fenders.
Right.
And it would fit with like maybe 3/16 on each side of the fenders, which is too scary.
It just looks so good though.
But yeah, it had to be the way he sent it to me in the rendering.
Let's talk about the original vehicle, the donor vehicle. What was the donor vehicle like? Was it a running, driving vehicle?
It was, yeah. So we found one in San Diego, and it looked nice, had a fresh coat of single stage paint on it. And I didn't like really go into it, but it thought it was really good. It looked clean. No rust on it, obviously, that I knew of. and picked it up. It was a little pricey because of that, but we needed a donor and it had to be on the West Coast, so it was kind of the only option. And then afterwards, when we started getting closer to SEMA and started getting the bodywork, the metal bodywork done, there was just Bondo and holes all over it, which is what you would have expected anyway. I thought they would have done a better job, but a lot of heavy Bondo just kind of caked up and sanded down decently. And so anyway, it was a lot of cleanup to do before SEMA.
What year was it?
66.
Okay. I love driving my 996 Turbo, but after a few weeks, the battery always goes dead. When it needed a jump start using the lead acid battery, I had to pop off the cover for the keyhole, open the door with a key, pop off the fuse cover, plug in the jump starter to the vehicle to open the front, take off the cover for the battery, then jump start the car. I can skip all of that with built-in wireless jump start. All I have to do is press this button on my anti-gravity key fob, and then I'm off enjoying my car. Looking at it from the outside, what is still original from the donor vehicle? And then what is stuff that you guys designed and added?
So it's easy. It's just the cab, the front fenders, the hood, the front end, headlights, grille, and then the bed sides and the tailgate.
The tailgate's original.
Tailgate is original.
Wow.
Yeah. So you would think that this chassis would be extremely light, and it is, but you put all this heavy metal back onto it, and it makes it pretty heavy. Like we probably have like 400 pounds that, if it was made out of composite, would come off the chassis.
Yeah, and then the doors are original too?
And the doors, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So
Yep.
then
doors, dash. So pretty much all the external stuff.
But then the floor and all that stuff is custom.
Correct.
That you guys made.
Yep. Yep.
Because
that's all Kibby Tech.
It is a true tube chassis. This doesn't have any structural, it doesn't add any structure?
It definitely does now, just because of the way they tied it in. Like you can see the marks over here. There's some other ones that you can't see now, but they basically cut, into the cab here so that they could drop it over the top of the chassis, and then they integrated it into the chassis afterwards by welding all the weld points.
That is so
and that's
cool.
unique. That's kind of unique to be able to do with the truck because, it's on a chassis. It's not
from the factory. It's on one. Yeah. On a frame.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, let's take a look at the engine bay. Oh, that is heavy.
That's what I mean, dude.
Whoa.
The body, it's from the 60s. Like everything is really heavy. Like the side fenders, really heavy. The cab, extremely heavy. The doors, probably over 100 pounds a piece.
Okay, so the Stout 1900, it was at 1.9 liter before?
I want to say it was, yeah. I'm a little foggy on the stock engine now.
And then this is just a little bigger than that.
It's like a 2.05 essentially for the displacement, but yeah.
I know this is a special build, like mix matching heads, and what did you do with this build?
So this is from the 3S GTE family, and the block is actually called a 5SFE. It's a 2.2 liter originally, and I end up using the 2 liter crank in it, and the head is from a 1986 naturally aspirated Celica, or that area of year and chassis, and I kind of wanted to keep it old school, because these valve covers look so cool. And we kind of gave up some performance, obviously, because of that, because I could have used the Beams head and had cam control and gave ourselves a little bit better of a window of power band, but I just thought I kind of fell in love with those valve covers. And Brennan, who did the engine, who built it and ported the head and everything, this is kind of his engine package that he knows, and he drag races these things at over 1,000 horsepower. So I was like, okay, this is the guy to do the engine build.
Wow.
And we're doing like 650 at the wheels on it. So for one of his builds, it's on the lower side of power, which is nice.
Jeez, but man, this
but
thing
plenty
moves out.
Plenty for this thing.
I cannot believe how fast this thing drifts.
Yeah.
I'm having such a hard time keeping up with you in a Supra. Like,
I know.
It's insane how fast this thing is. I was thinking when I first started chasing you, I was thinking, oh, cool, it's just this drift truck. It shouldn't be a problem, you know?
Yeah, right.
And here I am pushing 1010s to try to keep up with you.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, dude, I couldn't believe how quick it was. Like, we haven't even done that much to it to really set it up. It's pretty much just straight out of the box. It felt great the first time I initiated, and that's it.
Yeah. You put a really good, educated guess to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then it just turned out to be a very good drift car.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
seriously.
then, is that what it's for? Just for demos? Just for?
Yeah. Yeah. Just for something, another unique vehicle that can just go out and have a good time in. It is so fun to drive.
Oh.
Like, unbelievably fun.
It's so crazy. Look at the welds. The Kibitech, Ryan, and the guys, they really do some incredible work.
Dude, they really,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
they do. Their stuff is...
I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, it looks like a machine did it. It's so clean. It is amazing. So is that your decision to like leave it bare to kind of go with like a patina look or
No,
match?
we just ran out of time. You know, you have deadlines and SEMA, and then just trying to get it running in time for, its first outing was just, we couldn't go backwards. Because initially you want to build everything, get it running, and then tear it apart and get it painted. And we just haven't had that window of time to do that. And believe me, it is a pain in the butt trying to keep this thing rust-free or from rusting.
Right.
So it's just a lot of extra maintenance that I really don't like to do.
There's just so much crazy stuff going on here. Like, this packaging is so, and which, by the way, this has such a big engine bay.
It does.
I mean, because you could have gone inline six easily.
Easily, yeah.
I mean, you might have had to repackage this steering area.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably would have had to mount it like underneath and just, maybe turned it on its side or something, but it's
this is just so
plenty of room.
neat. It's so cool. So then,
and then this is like, so it being an old truck and a smaller kind of mini truck, I guess you could say, my knees were like hugging over the stock steering column, and you're like really up high and your elbows are hitting everything. So what they had to do is, that's why you have this big kind of box out on this side, is so my feet have somewhere to go inside the cab.
This is the inside.
Yeah.
And then so the exhaust is crazy. It doesn't go out the back.
No.
It goes out right here.
Yep. We could have figured it out, but there's really nowhere to put it. And I felt like it was a good spot to just do it there anyways.
It's really cool.
And I think Victor, who did the fab work on the whole turbo kit and manifold and intake, he did a great job. Really kind of going the extra distance to make it look really proper.
So then, wheel and tire setup, what was your idea with this look?
This, I just, you kind of just go through a catalog and start looking at stuff, and I just kind of really wanted more of like a meshy style look, and I like the dark bronze, so it worked out. I think it's really fitting for the car.
It also has some serious brakes for a drift demo
Yeah.
car.
I know.
Like,
so these are the same brakes we run on the Formula Supra.
So then, does that mean you potentially could time attack this if you wanted to?
I mean, brake-wise, we could, yeah. But we're not going to.
Yeah, right. It's not very aerodynamic, is it?
I would say no.
Yeah.
I bet it would still do decent. Like, it has the recipe to be quick if we wanted it to, But it's a drift truck.
I just really like the no side skirt look of this too.
It's low enough to get away with it.
I just think it looks so cool. There's just so much going on over here. Well, why did you want to do this cantilever setup here?
Because it's so with a truck, you just leave it, there's so much open space in the back. And it's really easy to have the room to be able to do it. So Kibitech actually had brought it up to me. He's like, we should do cantilever. I was like, 100%. That's what we need to do. It just fills the area really nicely, and we easily could have just ran a shock up and down and had something basic on each side, but they went above and beyond to make this happen and really designed something really cool for that cross member.
This piece is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe. Wait, so how do these connect then?
So it's basically sandwiches together. These two pull apart, and then this has a inside of this over here, where it sandwiches onto, they like made some bevels and stuff to kind of fix it all really tight.
It almost looks like one piece. It's so crazy.
And then you can see the bolts are on the inside that basically tie it all together.
Oh, got it. What an insane setup. So, like, how did they figure out the math and everything?
I don't know. Being able to do it in CAD is the future of things, and be able to design something before you get to that point on the chassis is crazy.
It's just so crazy. Like leverage, angle, all that stuff, just the motion of it.
Yeah.
It's got to be insane if you mount a GoPro here and you see it all working.
We've done it, yeah. It looks really cool. It does.
Plus, I really like this truck because the way that it billows smoke is different.
It's like,
it's not under the wheel wells. It's like,
it doesn't get trapped. It just goes everywhere.
Right. It just goes everywhere. It's just so cool looking. I love it. And then just the way this initiates, how does it actually drift?
Like, I instantly felt comfortable. The first initiation I did in the truck, I was just instantly at home. And because of that, I just kept going. Everything just felt really, really good.
Yeah.
And we really haven't touched anything on the setup of this thing, just because I was like, well, it's good. Let's just leave that and focus and make sure all the other stuff is working properly.
So then, got a radium, fuel cell.
Yep.
What's the rear end here?
Quick change. So Winner's quick change from MA Motorsports. Drive shaft shop axles, drive shaft shop drive shaft. We have a CSF radiator with the Spall fans.
Oh, so the cooling.
All the cooling, yeah. So this is kind of Kibbytech's, a little trophy truck-esque design in the back here, which is cool. So that's all enclosed. And no ducting underneath for the radiator. The radiator sits at an angle like this.
Oh.
And the Spall brushless fans pull enough CFM to really keep this thing super cool.
So where does the air come from? Like underneath?
Just channels are from everywhere. It definitely it pulls it from the bottom up, but we don't have anything specifically to duct it. And the cooling on this thing is ridiculously good. The CSF R1 triple pass and the Spall fans is like such a killer combination.
This is something that's unique that I haven't seen on any other build. The harness bar is outside of the vehicle. That is so interesting. I mean, it's because the cabin itself is so small.
Yep. Had to do it. It's a little bit of a bummer, but I don't know, it gives it a little something different to look at.
Right. So then, is this original glass?
So we did this at a Lexan because we could. It was a simple flat window to be able to cut and do. So we just did that at the shop. And then the windshield is the original from the, well, I don't know if it's the original from this truck, but it's an OEM windshield that is super difficult to get. And it's pretty like it's all sand blasted over the years and pitted. So that's the one bummer. I need to get a new one somehow. Or just make a Lexan one in the future. Did the original owner know what you were gonna do with this vehicle? They knew I was gonna build it, but it was like a hands-off thing. Like they built the truck or refurbed it. A rich guy, I think it was like a rich guy that drove it around a couple times, and then he had his guy just sell it. That's kind of what I got out of the sales deal when I met them. Let's take a look at the inside. This is so neat. So original door handles. Yep. The window still works? The window, yeah, that crank's missing, but it does work. Like, look at this. This is all the patina from the inside. Yeah. So then this is the original panel? That is. Wow. It's cool that Gibby was able to get the cage to this point where it's not going into the door. Right. But you had to just remove the bottom. Just the bar. You see those little cutouts just for the lower X bar. Got it. That's why they had to remove those. Huh. But it was all thank you to Rob Parsons from Cage Kits. He came and 3D scanned the truck as it was OEM, and then gave that scan to Kibbytech, and I think they both worked together a little bit to design everything. And then Rob ended up actually manufacturing all the tube for the thing. So he bent all the tube and then shipped it out to Kibbytech to do the fixturing and welding. That's why it's so tight. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, he nailed it on the bends and the design. So
What was the original color then?
Oh, the truck?
Yeah.
White.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
then-
the doors. So we painted the front fenders, the rear bed sides, and so the hood and the paint of the hood. But the doors and the cab are the two things that haven't been painted yet. But they did a really good job matching the color. And
Really?
it's this white on the fenders is actually still a Toyota white.
No way.
Yeah.
So that's why there's still some patina here.
Yeah.
See, I had no idea. I thought I was going to ask you why you chose this color, but it's the
It kind
original
of chose
color.
itself to me.
Right.
Like when I went there and got it, I was like, that's a great color.
Yeah.
Yeah. It being Mobile One, who was going to be the major branding on the car, being red, I was like, it's going to look phenomenal.
Yeah.
Once we put logos on it, yeah.
This is honestly probably the best seat you can put in here,
Yes.
besides making something
I was
custom.
so excited when I saw Recaro come out with this because I was like, this is the seat I need for the truck.
It's so upright.
Yeah.
Huh.
Dude, sitting in this and then getting in like the East Coast car, like the GR Corolla, is so strange because you're just up top and you're looking down over the hood like a normal car, and then in a drift car or a race car, a lot of times you can barely see over the dashboard.
This is cool too. So this, you could see this whole footwell area where the cage all comes together, but this is just like your driver's side in that you just need a place for the feet.
Yeah.
And then the engine is right here.
Yeah.
Oh, what
Yeah.
what a complicated firewall.
Yes.
Oh, wow. There's just so much going on.
It's crazy. Seriously is. Like the amount of work that was put into designing and then making sure everything could work was a lot, for sure.
I really like that you kept the original dash too.
Yeah.
I think that is super cool.
I go back and forth on wanting to paint it, but I think just leaving it kind of patinaed like that, because once we do spray the rest of the truck and chassis, it's going to be one of the last things left that would be like original color.
And it's so clean here. Like, are these plugs to plug into?
All the Motec,
all the Motec stuff.
electronics, yeah.
Huh.
So the PDM dash
so
and
clean. Very, very clean.
And then John Reed, who tuned it, he actually created this dash display based off of the OEM dash. So it's very much similar the way the dash actually is. And I had originally bought this Motec dash for the Supra, but it was just so big that we couldn't fit it. So I knew I could use it for this project, just being a truck and having a large flat dash like this.
It looks great. I love that it even has a little fuel gauge and everything.
Yep.
That is so cool. TRD. I love it. You got the Pegasus there. E-brake here.
Yep.
Hollinger. And look at this. This is where everything ties together here too.
Yep.
Huh. And then this is unpainted.
Yeah,
So-
this is still stock body,
Got it.
but that's where this thing dropped onto, and then they made this custom shelf for that to weld the chassis up in the backside.
Wow. And this pedal box area is crazy too.
It's tight. Like you can't drive this with regular shoes on. You have to have racing shoes, just because everything's so skinny and tight in there.
So what's next for this thing then? What are you gonna do next?
Goodwood, baby.
Oh.
So it actually leaves in like 2 weeks for a Goodwood Festival of Speed, which I'm excited for.
It's gonna get flown over?
No, well, it's going from the East Coast, so the travel time's a little bit better.
Got it.
But yeah,
that's cool.
yeah,
That's gonna be
excited.
awesome.
It should be.
It's gonna do really well up that hill.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really cool. People are gonna love it. Hyperfest, so much fun. This has been awesome. I'm glad I got to follow you for a couple laps here too on
I
would
wasn't
say-
driving that good, but I hope it looked good.
It looked good. It's a lot less sketchy than Lime Rock.
Yeah.
The Lime Rock track is so much more high speed, and I feel like it's pretty sketchy.
Yeah. A lot bigger turns there for sure.
Not very good for drifting.
Yeah.
But
I like it there a lot,
Yes.
to be honest, but.
in the
Yeah.
proper car.
Yes. Yeah.
But here, perfect track.
Yeah.
Love Hyperfest. It's just such a good event. So many awesome drivers come out. Just so many different kinds of racing and so many different kinds of cars. But it's just cool to see this, and kind of pick your brain about it and catch up with you. Always good to see you.
You too, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks,
Cool.
Larry.